Why would I decide to jump into a world that is so oversaturated with podcasts? Because it's the next thing. I'm Chris Cooper, and welcome to the Fitness Beyond 30 podcast. For the last 18 years, I've been blessed with the opportunity to work with a lot of wonderful people through fitness. Through those years, I've enjoyed learning and sharing about habits, lifestyle, fitness and nutrition, mindset, and personalities. And unfortunately, a lot of the conversations I've had needed to be cut short due to time constraints. With this podcast, I hope to continue those conversations and expand on the knowledge I've been able to accumulate over the last 2 decades about mental and physical health, wellness, adventures, and handling the BS that comes with staying healthy and fit as we age. Getting old sucks, or does it? Welcome back to the Fitness Beyond 30 podcast. I'm Chris Cooper, and thank you for taking the time to check in and give us a listen. Today's topic doesn't come from a book. It comes from a reoccurring phrase that I hear. It gets echoed from people in every area of my life. In the gym, at parties, at the pool, and in random conversations at the airport. Everywhere I turn, I can hear someone say the phrase, "getting old sucks." Now don't get me wrong, I know I've said it too, on numerous occasions, but when I've said it, it's been more about the stresses of adulting as opposed to fitness or nutrition. The phrase follows me all the way back to when I first started personal training, and I'd be training older clients. We'd be doing something and I'd pull something out of my bag of tricks that either brought them back to their younger days or something that they'd never tried before and struggled with during our session. And sometimes they'd say, "Don't get old, kid." Now, as a younger and energetic personal trainer, I'd pause at it because clearly something was going on in a client's life that prompted them to say this. But what could I offer the situation? So I do what I do best. Insert a self-deprecating joke and say something like, "What do you want me to do? Die early?" This kind of joke would get us through the uncomfortableness of the moment and let us move past the elephant in the room. We get older and things change. But does that mean that getting older has to suck? My daughter is 16. She's getting ready to start her junior year of high school, and a lot of her friends are seniors, getting ready to graduate and move on to the next phase of their lives. They're nervous, but they're excited. They know that life is changing. They're not saying getting older sucks. These kids are stepping out of the shelter and comfort of their homes, surrounded by family and friends that they've known for years, and are venturing off into the relative unknown. And for the most part, they know what they're losing. And they're looking forward to aging up. So where along the journey do we start resenting the idea of getting older? And why do we hate it so much? Here are the top 5 reasons that I could think of. Now, there are many, and there's definitely some honorable mentions that I'm not going to mention, but these were the top 5. 1, we start giving away our time to other things. When I started training, one of my mentors told me to protect my time like I'd protect my daughter. A solid piece of advice. Sometimes I choose to remember that, and sometimes I choose to ignore it. And it's one of the most common reasons I hear that people can't or don't work out is I don't have the time. Now, it's true. We don't always have the time. But why not? Where do you give your time away? Where do you give that time away that you could actually be dedicating it to training? Time is like money. You can piss it away on small things here and there, or you can dedicate it towards something that you need or really, really want. I found that once you start giving away your time, it can be hard to get it back. Now, I'm notorious for this. I will give my time away, and then by the end of the day, I'm like, damn, I didn't get to train today. Now, how bad is that? I work in a gym, and I still can't find the time to work out. Where am I giving my time away? The second reason I came up with was we can't do what we used to. But my question to that is, why not? Is it literally are you literally no longer capable of doing it because of an injury? Maybe it's because we stopped doing the thing and we forgot how. I wonder that maybe it's your memory. Maybe it's getting a little fuzzy and you don't actually remember what you could do. But there's also the possibility that you still can do it. You just have to give it time, energy, and focus until you can build it back up. Getting old doesn't suck because I can't do what I used to. It's just not as easy as it was before. I have to work harder and do more things just to get back to where I was. And then I need to work harder and do even more things just to maintain it. But it was so easy back in the day. Yes, it was easier when we were younger. But that doesn't mean that getting old sucks. Third thing I came up with is that your body almost uncontrollably goes through changes. This is just science, guys. As our bodies age, things change. There are a whole host of reasons why, and for our purposes right now, we're not going to go into it. Just know that yes, each decade you walk this earth, there will be physical changes that are beyond your control. But again, just because we start experiencing these changes doesn't mean that getting old has to suck. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my old man lines. Now that's what my son calls them. He's like, "Dad, you're an old man." And I'll ask him, "Well, how can you tell?" He's like, "Look, see all the lines on your face from your eyes?" Now just because I get more smile lines, it doesn't make me resent everything that I've done and where I'm going. Now, the fourth reason, number 4, people think that getting old sucks is because we don't recover the way we used to. Whether it's hangovers or extreme efforts, injuries, we don't recover from them as quickly as we did when we were younger. Now, there are a lot of variables that go into this, but just remember that our body systems don't work as well as they did back in the day. So when we make a bad decision, we're gonna have to pay for it, sometimes for longer than we want to. At the start of this summer, I made a dumb decision. I jumped over a fence and, well, I sustained a grade 2 ankle sprain. Way to go, me. Now, what would have barely slowed me down in the past took me almost 2 months to heal from. Now, with that in mind, we get to my number 5 reason. The thing that I came up with for number 5 was that we don't adjust to our new reality. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of the people that I know are stuck. They've been doing things a certain way for a long period of time. They've developed habits, routines, and mindsets that are hard to alter. Even as things around them change, they remain the same. And unfortunately, that doesn't always serve us well in the moment. I did this before and it worked. So why isn't it working now? Because things are different. Now, as I've gone through my 30s and I'm starting to roll through my 40s, I've been able to find a few nuggets along the way to help me hopefully, fingers crossed, continue to age with grace. The first thing is your mindset. Now, what's your mindset about getting older? Every once in a while, my son calls me old, which I don't exactly know how I feel about that. Like, on most days, I don't feel old. I still have the sense of humor of a middle schooler. My mind is still sharp, and health-wise, I'm doing okay. Of course, there are days when I'm tired, or I wake up with aches and pains, but I don't consider myself old. Now, I guess it helps that I feel physically good, right? But I've got to imagine my mindset plays a big role in this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not excited about getting older, but I know it's gonna happen if I'm lucky. So I approach it with the idea that I wanna be the healthiest and most dominant version of myself. I see these dudes in their 60s or older, and they're running the trails near my house, shirtless and jacked. And I'm like, yep, that's what I wanna be doing. I want to be able to do shit with my son as he grows. I want to be able to enjoy myself as the grays set in and these wrinkles get deeper. I want to be around and able to participate in my grandkids' lives when and if they get here a long, long, long time from now. I'm always striving to improve, to be better, to do more with what I've got. Is it easy? No. But it's how I want to be. I never want to be complacent. And the thing that's gonna help me as I age up is having that mindset. Second thing, remember that you've done some shit like skateboarding, sports, running, climbing, getting drunk and missing a step, coming off of a porch. If you've been living your life, chances are you've done some shit and now you're a little bit older and it might start creeping up on you. Examples: I've twisted and sprained my ankles more times than I care to remember, and I've got no clue what's going on in there or how it's going to affect me over the next chunk of years. I've messed up my shoulder, and I'm always aware of it flaring up. My low back is giving me issues, and I know the warning signs. So when things start getting a little dicey, I know that I need to pay attention to it, not just in the gym, but at home, in the office, everywhere I go. I need to tune into my body and remember that I've done some shit, and I need to take care of my body. Third thing, okay, this is hotly contested, especially when we're younger. The third thing you need to remember to age with grace is that resting and recovering is not the same as inactivity. When you're younger, if we did something to ourselves, we'd lay off it for a few days and then we'd get right back after it. Now, if you tried to do that, it'd get worse, or it would just linger on forever. If you want to age with grace, you've got to have people around you who can help put you back together, and you need to utilize them. Remember, we don't recover the way that we used to, and finding people who are able to walk with you on this journey is going to be incredibly valuable. If I am keeping track correctly, we are on number 4. The fourth thing is figuring out who you want to be in the next stage of life. I wonder if people think getting old sucks because we stop having a vision for ourselves, we lose our purpose, or we don't have anything to challenge us and to drive us each day. Now, I love talking with people about their parents and their grandparents and the different physical challenges that they've been doing in their later years. Things from 5Ks to triathlons, backpacking trips, or even competing in fitness events. I know that at some point, we will all just want to get through daily activity without fear. But as we age up, I really believe you need to have a vision for who you want to be and what you want to be capable of in the next stages of life. So where do we go from here? Obviously, growing old beats the alternative, but we've got so many negative attitudes about it. We've got so much negative self-talk about what's happening to us that it can have long-lasting effects on who we become in the back half of our lives. We've created these belief structures around who we should be and what we should be doing as we age. From here, let's do a quick recap. Why do we think getting old sucks? 1, it's because we give our time away. We don't pay attention to it. We don't value that time as much. So protect your time. Second thing is we can't do what we used to. Remember what you can do and don't regret what you can't. Your body is going to change. Now, what can we do to influence the change? How can we learn to adapt to the changes and mitigate it as best as possible? Now, you won't recover as fast. So don't put off handling your issues. Don't wait for it to feel better. Be proactive about it. And the last one is adjust to your new reality, whatever that might be. Be able to pivot. Here's what I got. Our nuggets to take home, things to think about. What is your mindset about getting older? Remember, you've done some shit. Be proud of it and be ready to handle it as you age. Rest and recovery is an active thing. Fourth, get your vision checked. Where do you want to go? So if you're up for it, let's take a few minutes and think about what small actions you can start taking today to move in the right direction. Then, write it down. I know it might sound stupid, but just like you punch in the destination into Google Maps and it gives you a few different options, just take this opportunity and use it to map out a few ways you see life going. Start with where you are now. So grab your pen, grab your pencil, grab a piece of paper, write it down. Where are you now? From there, what do you know is going to change for you in the next few years? The certain things, the things you definitely know are going to happen. My third question for you to write down and answer is, what do you want to be able to do? The fourth one is kind of the most important one. And that's going to be, how do you want to feel? As you go through each phase of the rest of your life, how do you want to feel? Remember, getting old, it doesn't have to suck. There are things that are going to happen, and they're out of your control. But how you approach them, how you think about them, and how you feel about them, those are the things that you can control. So as you're going through it, remember what's in your control, what small actions can you take, and remember that getting old, it doesn't have to suck. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. It's been a pleasure to have these conversations with you. Now, this podcast is all about expanding our knowledge, connecting on a deeper level, and becoming the best version of ourselves. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might enjoy it. Until next time, keep moving, stay curious, and embrace the uncomfortable. We'll see you in the next episode.